Alrighty, fellas, welcome back to Thanksgiving, the bets video for today. Sorry if that's peaking a little bit. New mic, I have just a DJI mic on for DJI, the mic for today. Obviously, I'm at home. This is the parents' home. We're living here, but don't worry, we still have the Monsty. Doesn't go a day without it. But we have Thanksgiving slate. You guys voted in the Discord to do a long video for the NFL preview. So it's going to be, instead of just going over my 5 best bets, we're going to go over every game. Plus, I'm going to throw in a long shot parlay that I have at the end, as well as I have 2 other like little bit parlays that I'm going to be mixing in, involving with money lines and other things that aren't just exactly player props, that I'm going to have for you guys today. I think it's a total of 9 bets that we have that we're going to do today. So we're going to be going over a lot, but we're going to hop straight into it, waste no time. Don't want to take up too much of your time. I know it's supposed to be a longer video, but I want to get to pretty much the main basis of our bets and what we're going to be looking at here for today. So we're going to be starting out on Underdog Fantasy. If you're not on Underdog Fantasy, make sure you get on Underdog Fantasy. They're running a ton of Thanksgiving promos this week. Off the top of the dome, you have obviously one play for every single game for free. So you get Jared Goff, you get CeeDee Lamb, and then you get Jordan Love, I think, or Tua. One of those 3, right? You get a free play for every game, plus you'll get a free play for this weekend, plus you get a free play for Friday. You're getting a free play if you sign up on Underdog damn near every single day. So it's absolute money. It's money you just can't give up. You can't pass up that sort of money. It's free bets, plus you get these profit boosts, obviously, for other sports right now. There's a ton of stuff. They're going to be doing a ton of promos during the Thanksgiving day itself. So you're going to have a ton to work with here as well. And if you're not on Pick'It, which is where I'm going to be taking all these plays, we're going to be looking at these lines, or you're going to see all of this sort of stuff, make sure you get on Pick'It, because if you use code BDG, it's absolutely free. You'll automatically follow me, as well as you'll follow some of the boys in the office, so you can take advantage of that and cash in. But yeah, we're going to be starting on Underdog Fantasy. We're going to take this game by game. So starting with the first game, I do have a few plays for you. I have Jahmyr Gibbs to go over 74.5 rushing yards. So again, when you're looking at this matchup, the main thing we want to look at is, again, Monty is hurt, right? He's banged up and no injury. Only saw 8 carries last game, left the game early. So he's definitely a little bit banged up on a short week. So we want to note that, and it's a really short week as they're playing at 12:30 on Thursday instead of that 8 o'clock game. So he doesn't have the full Thursday to recover. So again, a very, very short week for Monty to just pull back and recover right away. But a big game versus Chicago. Now, Chicago's been a scrappy defense and a great pass defense, but we're looking at this from a rush yard perspective. He hasn't been this world burner elite defense that we've been seeing as they have been in the past game. You look at the run game here for Jahmyr Gibbs, right? He's obviously been crushing this line throughout this NFL season, and they give up the 7th most rushing yards per game. You see the number right here. 111 rushing yards per game. That is 25th in the entire league. That's 7th worst. They're also giving up a ton of attempts, the 11th most attempts so far this season on a per game average. Also giving up the 2nd most long rushes this season. So, we also are going to pair with it. Longest rush, 16.5. Dude, like, you just look at the fucking graph, right? Just look at the graph. It doesn't miss. This play does not miss. He's hit this 9 of his last 10 games and 9 of 11 games this season. It's nuts. And now they're playing a team that allows the 2nd most long rushes in the NFL. They allow a 40-yard rush a game, damn near. So again, you love that play. You love Jahmyr Gibbs in this matchup. I think he's going to continue to absolutely crush this mark. And we're going to be kind of revolving a lot of our plays around the Gibbs train this week, because I think he's going to really take over. Because I think Monty is going to see, again, you look at last game, 67% of snaps, and then it comes down, but I think he's around that 60 mark like he was in Houston. As Monty, again, still a little bit uncertain about his entire good to go for this week. Now, again, we're going to pair that with, again, being 9.5 dogs in this one, as we can see for Chicago Bears here. We're going to take Caleb to have over 227.5 passing yards. You love this line for Caleb. Again, he's averaging 285 passing yards per game in his last 2 games. And again, he's a great matchup versus Detroit, who, again, if we look at the props.cash, which, again, you can tell us a lot. And if you are wondering what this site is, I get a ton of questions on Discord. I get a ton of questions on Twitter. What is this site? It's props.cash. You can get 25% off your first month using code GUT25. Now, again, for that, it is a little bit different. It is a paid per month basis, so it's, I think, $20 a month. So you got to weigh your options if you want to be paying that. If you gamble a lot, you bet every day. I highly suggest it. If you don't, I don't suggest it much. But I think again today we're definitely going to be using it. I use it every single day. So if you want that, it's definitely available to you. Props.cash is the site. But you look at Detroit's defense from a passing perspective, 31st in receiving yards, so second worst in the entire league, allowing the most receptions per game and the most targets per game and the third most yak per game. So again, yards after catch per game. So again, this is just got Caleb written all over it, especially because you look at the yak. Caleb throws a ton of screen passes. They run a ton of jail breaks. They play a very close to the line of scrimmage scheme. So again, for Caleb, just getting the ball into his playmaker's hands, letting DJ take it all the way, letting Keenan Allen do what Keenan Allen can do at his age, and getting it into his playmaker's hands like Rome Odunze, he should easily have a big day here. And I think DeAndre Swift can have a pretty big day in the receiving game for Caleb as well if they get him involved against this Detroit defense that has just been a cakewalk for opposing quarterbacks as well as running backs this season. Now, again, the past 3 quarterbacks they've played have all not played up to par. Well, C.J. Stroud is having a big slump here. Mac Jones stinks at football. Anthony Richardson had over 67 yards called back in penalties, which would have made his line look a lot different here, and he definitely would have hit his line. Before that, you look at Jordan Love, crushed this line. Mason Rudolph went over this line. Sam Darnold had 259 passing yards in that game. Dak Prescott only 178 in an absolute blowout, 50 fucking point, absolute haymaker of a game. Not even gonna look at that. Geno put up almost 400 yards on this defense. Baker didn't have a good day, but Matt Stafford had a great day, 317 back in the beginning of the season, but a lot different than from the beginning of the season. So teams just be able to throw against this team, and I think Caleb's going to come out again. Look at last game he had 47 pass attempts. I think we're going to see something similar to that in this one, where he's going to be probably around that 40 range against this defense that is not going to allow them to run the ball. So I expect him to have a pretty big day here. Now we're going to head on to our next pick, which is not in this game, if I'm not mistaken. It is not in this game. We're going to head to the next game. But before we get to that game, we're going to do a little bit of a parlay here. We're going to be taking Jahmyr Gibbs, and you can see my picks. Jahmyr Gibbs, and we'll get to that 4-legger here in a second, but we're going to the 2-legger right now. Jahmyr Gibbs, anytime touchdown score mixed with Detroit money line. Obviously, Detroit big favorites in this game, so we absolutely love to take them here. You look at the odds. Obviously, you can get them at minus 439. We took that play, if I'm not mistaken, on DraftKings We took this play on DraftKings, so you look at it from that perspective. You love it at minus 125, when Jahmyr Gibbs is damn near guaranteed every single week to find the end zone. So now you get him finding the end zone as well as getting Detroit money line, which I feel like is a lock in this game. They've been playing out of their mind going against a Chicago team that's definitely up and coming, but they're just not quite there yet. On a short week, I want Dan Campbell's squad, right? So we're going to move on from that. That's one parlay. We're going to get to the 4-legger that was there. I know. That's going to be last. That's going to be last that we get to. But those 2 plays, anytime touchdown for Jahmyr Gibbs, rushing yards for Jahmyr Gibbs, absolutely love. Longest rush for Jahmyr Gibbs. He's going to have another big day as he has been all season. I think he's going to continue to get this line. And if you want a better line than the one that's on Underdog, or if you're only on Underdog, I got it 71.5 here on FanDuel. There are some places you get at 69.5, but there's just more juice to it. At 69.5, I think it was a minus 140. I'm not taking that juice, but if you want to, you're more than welcome to get those extra 2 yards as well, an extra 6 yards from Underdog. Heading to the Giants and Dallas game, what we love to see here is CeeDee Lamb receptions plus money, plus 105 you can get it at. Feels like the best play you can get for plus money in these slates of games, right? He's obviously hit over this line for the last, let's just go to it. He's turned into a Wan'Dale Robinson damn near. And that's what we really want to look at. When you look at a guy, Jim, here's a guy. When you look at a guy like CeeDee Lamb, who's going to be the focal point and the main soul of this offense, he's going to see a ton of yards. Now, again, you look at the Giants' defense, they've been hypothetically good against receivers, but that's because every team just runs the ball on them. But I think this Dallas team, who struggles to run the ball, is going to continue to throw the football. You look at how many times Cooper Rush had last game of 55 damn near pass attempts. Obviously, it's crazy. You look at the past 2 games for Cooper Rush, 55 pass attempts and 32 pass attempts. So then again, you look at CeeDee Lamb, who's had 12 and 12 targets. He's damn near eating up 30% of the target share of all time at all times. He's turning into Wan'Dale. The receiving yards aren't entirely there. But we will see that probably progress over time. He's going to break one. It's CeeDee Lamb. He's the best receiver, one of the best, I would say top 4 in the entire league right now. CeeDee Lamb has been targeted on 34.6% of his routes run with the Cowboys since the Week 7 bye. That's the second highest rate among wide receivers with at least 50 targets during that span. So again, the volume is obviously there, like I said. CeeDee Lamb's also been set in motion in 19.9% of offensive snaps since that Week 7 bye. So again, they're using him now instead of other guys like Jalen Tolbert or whatnot in that motion, and it's up to 13.5% of snaps from the weeks 1 through 6. So it's definitely raised about 5% since then, and he's total league high 19 receptions off those motion snaps. So again, they're trying to get new ways to get him open, try to break that man coverage, and I think they're going to do that a lot in this game against a Giants defense that has been all right versus opposing teams. The first time you played this Giants team, you also had 7 receptions, so you feel good about that. And again, the plus money there is just something you can't pass up for a guy seeing about 12 targets in each game. Heading to our second play, we're staying in that same game. It's not Tyrone Tracy. It's not the boy, Tyrone, but it is Malik Neighbors. His receptions is not here right now, but you can take 9.5 targets, and I'd feel great about it. I have his receptions at 6.5 for plus 102 on FanDuel. So again, you like the targets at 9.5 as well. But again, he's been smashing this line, right? 6 receptions or 7 receptions is what he's going to need. It's very similar to a guy like CeeDee Lamb, where he's going to be the main focal point of his offense. Obviously, 12 receptions, 115 yards on 15 targets the last time they played. So he destroyed this Dallas defense the first time. And he's averaging 7.5 catches while seeing an average of 12 targets this season. Not only that, but Malik Neighbors and Wan'Dale Robinson lead the NFL in receptions on hitch routes. That's first and second, respectively, in that category. So since the injury, he's seen 34% of target shares in this offense. So again, he's seeing what he needs to out of this offense. He didn't see anything in the first half. Last game finished with 6 receptions. Again, bitching last game. There's a narrative there, so I expect him to get heavily involved in this game as he's their best player. Like, I love Tyrone, but Malik Neighbors is clearly their best player. So I think he's going to have to be involved here if they want to win this ball game and to even come close to competing in this ball game. If he doesn't get involved, it's going to be a massacre. And Drew Lock's at quarterback now, so I feel even way better about that, him getting a lot of volume here. I also feel better about Tyrone now that Drew Lock is at quarterback, if you want to take that as well. But that's really all I got for the Giants-Dallas game. Not much going on. It's just kind of a washed game in general. And again, the spread of this game, when you look at it, it's not hot. So it's a 3.5 spread in a bad game with the over-under is 37.5. So there's probably not going to be a ton of scoring that we want to see. But again, Malik receptions, CD receptions, plus money on both of them. Absolutely love that. So again, we love the value there. Now to the last game, which is one of the most interesting games we have. And honestly, it's one of my favorites that I'm most looking forward to in this one. And that is going to be Miami Dolphins and Green Bay Packers. You see the money lines, you see the spread, you see where everything's going. A lot of people are on Green Bay, and I am as well on this one. As the Dolphins struggle in cold games, and this one is going to be an absolute freezer. You might as well be playing in Antarctica in this game, as some are saying. The wind chills are going to be down to damn near 0. As we saw, Miami last time they were in the cold got absolutely cooked in the playoffs. So I don't expect much different here. They've really struggled to show performance after performance in that sort of environment. And now we get a Green Bay Packers team that right now feels hot. Obviously, Jordan Love isn't playing his best ball, but I think we can look past that in a lot of aspects and just look at the team in general as they are winning ball games. 8-3, third in the division. It's insane. The division's absolutely nuts. They have to keep winning ball games. And you can get Josh Jacobs here at 71.5 rushing yards on underdog. It is 74, so I'll still take that. But we got it at 71.5 rushing yards here. And when you look at 71.5, you feel great. Even 74.5, you feel great about it. Obviously, hit this in 8 of 11 games, averaging 85 rushing yards per game. Now it goes against a Miami defense that is good and middle of the pack versus the run. So you're looking at it like that. But again, against a Green Bay defense where they spread the ball out, they have Jordan Love as their quarterback. They're not going to be able to stack the box like they have against past teams. Miami also hasn't been playing elite running backs. Like New England's running backs, respectively, Ramondre, let's be real, he's not elite at running the football. He's great out of the backfield, but the team stinks. They were down a lot. Not a good look. Alexander Madison, let's be fucking real. Blake Corum-Kyron, sure, great. He had 62 yards on them. But this game that they played a few weeks ago, I don't know if that's the best correlation to some game like this where it's going to be freezing cold, very run-heavy game. Obviously, James Cook has been a solid running back, and he's been more of a pass catcher this year, I would say, in where he's used in that versatile role. Obviously, still a great year on the ground, but I think he's being used a lot more in the pass game this season, and just being used as more of like a gadget Swiss Army knife back that he was in the very beginning of the season as just like that pure runner that was dominating teams. James Conner, great back. Obviously, Trey Sermon, Tyler Goodson. Let's move on. Antonio Gibson, Ramondre. Let's move on. JaMychal Hasty was one of those backs as well. Tajay Spears and Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard had a massive day. Zach Charbonnet had a massive day. James Cook the first time had a massive day. So, again, there's a lot of X's here, but there's also a lot of narratives behind those lines that kind of change that from when you're looking at it. And Josh Jacobs has been unstoppable these past 5 games. 96 average rushing yards per game. Just unstoppable. He's insane. And now he goes into a matchup where it's going to be freezing cold. They're not going to throw the football. Your hands are going to be bricks. You got to run the ball. Who are you going to run behind? Your best lead back, who's seeing 26 fucking rushing attempts in the game, 25 rushing attempts against Jacksonville. Is that Jacksonville? Yeah, against Jacksonville. And you look at Chicago, 18 even. He's seeing pure volume in this game. His rushing attempt line is coming out at 16.5. If he sees 17 rush attempts, which I think he will if you want to take this line instead, but if he sees 17 rushing attempts, it is going to be a long day for this Miami defense. And the fact that Josh Jacobs won't break one feels absurd to me. I think he's going to break a few, and I think he's going to have a massive game here against the Miami Dolphins. So we love Josh Jacobs in this one. Yeah, weather 27 degrees with snow. And again, 12-mile-an-hour winds feels like 0. So it's going to be really, really tough for them to pass the ball. But again, he's the 3rd highest rusher in the league right now. So he's killing it this season. But yeah, we're going to move on now from Josh Jacobs. So that is a line I really, really like. And I think he can absolutely crush that mark as well. So again, we already have 5 plays here. But we're going to keep it pushing as I do have a few more here that I want to go over. Again, in this game, you can lean Devon Achane. I don't mind it. I just don't love the passers in this game. I originally took Jordan Love lower, 243.5 passing yards to correlate, but I didn't make that an official play. I don't love that. But again, if you look at the plays we took for our bets, for this game, again, Packers 3.5 spread, should be a good game. The over-under is just way too high for me. I also really like the under in this game. 48 feels great for an under. In a game where it's like, yeah, they have 2 explosive offenses when it's not 0 fucking degrees out. And again, people are going to hit me with they're the Packers. They're used to playing in the cold. They're this, they're that. They're used to playing in the cold. 0 fucking degrees sucks. I've played in damn near 0 degrees. I mean, I played in New York, upstate New York. So, like, trust me, I know what it's like to play in the fucking cold, and it's ass. It fucking blows. You don't want to throw the ball. Coaches before the game, every time we're like, hey, we're going to run the fucking football. We're gonna try to establish a ground game here and run the damn football. So I expect them to do the same here. Again, the bets I'm taking, Josh Jacobs, you can see 71.5 on FanDuel. You like the odds. Value obviously is now at 103, but again, this is on like different books when they do this. It's like I check my main books, right? So I go ESPN, I go ESPN Bet, FanDuel, DraftKings, BetMGM. Those are my 4 main books. I don't have Caesars. My account is all fucked up, so if you want to take Caesars, that's fine. That's another main book. I don't ever take Caesars because I can't. A lot of those are like Hard Rock, so if you're only in Florida, you can take that. Some of those books are like offshore shit that I don't use. So I have those main 4 books. So if you see me take a line and sees like, oh, you can get better value here, sure, go take it at these other books that if you want to take that, go ahead, be my guest. But I take the same 4 books. When you're looking at that and you see that, that's why. But for the most part, we try to get pretty good CLV. Obviously, on this one, we don't have it just because I'm choosing to use that main book. Anyway, moving on as I'm done yapping. You look at this 2-leg parlay for today. We have the money line for Green Bay as long as the Josh Jacobs another anytime touchdown. So again, same thing like we did with Jahmyr Gibbs. Combining these to get a plus 130 play value. Josh Jacobs is damn near due to get in the end zone. If you look at his touchdowns over the past few games, 3-1, 2-1, crushing this line. Just had 3 touchdowns. He's going to keep killing it. And then we go to the 4-leg plus 1,200 parlay on DraftKings. You love this line, right? We took the Chicago Bears-Lions game. Detroit money line, Jahmyr Gibbs, 2 touchdowns. Monty's beat up. Monty's going to have problems. Is he going to see all the work? Jahmyr Gibbs just got 2 touchdowns last game. We're gonna try to take advantage and get him in the end zone multiple times against the Chicago team. I think on Thanksgiving, there's going to be a high-scoring game. There's going to be a lot of opportunities for Jahmyr Gibbs to score, and I think they get him 2 touchdowns once again, back-to-back games of 2 touchdowns, big games, and he's going to continue to crush that line. And then we take the Green Bay money line against a Miami team that can't play in the cold. They can't beat over 500 teams. There's a ton of narratives, and it's like, when you look at these games, a lot of people are like narrative this, narrative that. Miami's not a narrative anymore that they can't beat 500 teams. It's a fact that they can't beat 500 teams. This is 3 years in a row that they cannot beat 500 teams. And people are like, oh, it's a narrative. No, it's damn near a fact. Like, you look at their record versus 500 teams over the past 3 seasons, and it is god fucking awful. That doesn't turn into a narrative as much as it's a fact anymore. How many times do you have to see something for it to turn from opinion to fact? It's more just like we've seen it a million times. Kind of like when you look at rivalries where one team just beats them every single fucking year. Okay, it's not much of a rivalry. That's just like a beatdown every single season. So that's how I look. That's how I view the Miami Dolphins right now. But again, Green Bay Packers, I like the money line. They're rolling. I feel good about them in offense and defensively. And Josh Jacobs, anytime touchdown scorer, I feel awesome about. Again, he's been rolling. They're going to have to run through him in this weather and in this game in general against the Miami Dolphins. I don't think it's going to be a super pass-heavy game. Romeo Doubs is out as well, so you look at that. Josh Jacobs should have a big game. We're going to try to cash in on his anytime touchdown. So those are the plays we like for today. That parlay with the boost, I have a boost on it of plus 1272. But you can get it at minus 848 if you want to place more than $10 on it. It's kind of caps you at $10 if you do the 50% boost, which fucking blows. But I was like, all right, I'll take the $10 to win 127 instead of doing my normal $25 unit. Plus, it's a safer bet with such a long odd anyway. You'll live with it. I would like to put more on it, but again, when you get a 50% boost, I want to take advantage and place it on that. So that's what I did. If you want to do more than that, you're more welcome to just take the 848 straight up. But again, the best odds, again, I checked on all 4 of those main books that I said earlier. The best one is FanDuel to get this big parlay. So that's what we want to take advantage of and smack in this game. So that's what I'm liking for today. That's what I'm liking for Thursday's slate. If I have any more picks, they'll be available in the Discord as well as on Twitter. So yeah, we're going to be rocking and rolling. If you're not in the Discord, make sure you use the link down below to hop in the Discord. And if you're not following on Twitter, make sure you do that as well. We have some pretty cool graphics and stuff to pop on there. But yeah, for now, that's what we're rocking with. That's the dealio for the Thanksgiving games. Make sure to enjoy your Thanksgiving. Spend time with your family. Don't be too caught up in gambling as much as it is fun to watch all the football games. It's also fun to enjoy time and be around the people that you love and care about. And if you don't have family on Thanksgiving, gamble more. Just win some money, man. Just have a great day winning some bread and cashing out some parlays. And there's nothing better than that, honestly. Like family this, family that, sure. If you're alone on Thanksgiving, let's just win some fucking money. How about it? Yeah, that's all I got for today. Appreciate you all for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, all the fun shit down below as we do per usual. It's the best way to support the channel. And I will catch you guys next time. Yeah, peace.